Am I the asshole for declining to take in my cousin Bianca and her 2 kids after they lost their apartment? So I, 28F, and here's what happened. My sister Theo had been helping us with our living expenses for a while, but we were all doing pretty well financially at this point. We had just gotten a big tax refund and had put aside some money for an emergency fund. So when Bianca called me out of the blue, saying they'd lost their apartment due to her ex's rent increase, I felt bad but also didn't feel like I could take them in on top of everything else we were doing. I told her we couldn't take them in and offered to help with some financial assistance, $500 for a few months' worth of rent, utilities, and groceries. But Bianca got really upset with me, saying it wasn't enough and that I was abandoning her and the kids when Theo would be fine because he's the one making all the money. She started yelling at me on the phone, saying I'm not a good person and that I don't care about my family. The worst part is when Jackson, Bianca's other cousin who's been acting really immature lately, showed up at my doorstep uninvited. He was like 19 years old, still living with his friends in another state, but he claimed he needed a place to stay too because his own parents were not understanding about the whole thing. I had to tell him that I wasn't taking on any more people or financial responsibilities, and that they could look into other options like homeless shelters or temporary rentals. After that, Bianca started messaging me non-stop, saying I'm a terrible cousin and that Theo is going to leave me too because of my heartlessness. It's been 3 days now and she hasn't spoken to me since. The weird thing is, my mom and aunt are actually really supportive of what I did, saying it was the right decision because we can't just take on more financial stress. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my house guests to leave when they continued to disregard my home rules despite me explicitly stating them up front? So I, 21F, was hosting a weekend getaway with friends and invited my colleagues from work, Sasha and Cyrus, to crash at my place. To avoid any misunderstandings, I made sure to lay down the law on what was allowed and not allowed in my home. Specifically, no guests were allowed to have food delivered, and no one was supposed to order takeout after 10 p.m. I also mentioned that there would be a $20 flat fee for each guest who decided to stay past their scheduled departure time. I made sure to reiterate these rules multiple times before they arrived, but somehow, Sasha just kept ignoring them. On the second night of our gathering, Cyrus started ordering pizza at 11 p.m., and when I politely asked him to stop because it was against my rules, he got defensive and told me that I was being so uptight about nothing. He said that it was just a quick bite and that I should relax. Sasha chimed in and agreed with Cyrus, saying that she thought it was fine too. I tried to explain again that our house is not a hotel, but they both refused to listen. The next morning, when they were getting ready to leave, Cyrus asked if he could stay the night after all because his car broke down on the way home. He said that he would pay me back for the $20 flat fee later. When I told him that it was non-negotiable, he started acting all entitled and whiny, saying that I was being cruel to him. Sasha just rolled her eyes and muttered under her breath. I had to firmly but politely tell them that if they couldn't respect my home rules, then they shouldn't be staying at my place. Cyrus got all huffy and Isla, my friend who's also hosting, intervened and told him to calm down. Eventually, he stormed off with Sasha in tow. I was relieved when they left, but now I'm wondering if I overreacted. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for calling out my coworker Fiona in a meeting for talking over me 3 times? So I'm at a marketing meeting with our team and we're discussing the budget for an upcoming campaign. Marcus is trying to sell his idea, which involves allocating $10,000 for social media advertising. I try to jump in and add that we should consider using influencer partnerships instead, which would potentially save us $2,500. But before I can finish my point, Fiona interrupts me, saying, "Actually, Marcus, I think your idea is better." The next time I try to speak up, she does it again, saying, "I'm not sure about influencer partnerships, I think we should stick with paid advertising." This isn't the first time this has happened. We had a meeting last week where Fiona talked over me several times, and I politely tried to correct her after the meeting. But today, I finally felt like I'd had enough. So I try to speak up again in the meeting. "Actually, Fiona, if we allocate $10,000 for social media advertising, we'll be well above our budget." But Fiona cuts me off yet again, saying, "That's right, Marcus. We should just stick with your idea." It was frustrating because I know what I'm talking about, but nobody seems to listen to me. I tried to keep my cool and calmly suggest that we discuss the pros and cons of each option before making a decision. But Fiona continues to talk over me, and Marcus starts to get defensive on her behalf. Vera, our team lead, finally intervenes and suggests that we table the discussion for later in the week. Now I'm feeling pretty annoyed at Fiona for not listening to me, but at the same time, I feel like a jerk for blowing up in the meeting. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for assuming that a friend ended our friendship because he stopped initiating conversations, when really it was just an excuse to distance himself after I won $10,000 in a lawsuit? So I'm 32 and I've been friends with Colt since college. We've hung out regularly over the years, sometimes every week or two. Callie and Tanner are also close friends of mine, but we don't hang out as often. Recently, my life changed in a big way. I won $10,000 in a lawsuit that had nothing to do with me directly, but was for someone I care about deeply. The check landed on January 1st and I made sure to send it to the person who needed it most. In February, Colt started making excuses not to hang out as much. At first, he said he was busy with work, then his sister was in town and he had family obligations, but I knew that just wasn't true because we'd been talking about plans for months beforehand. By March, he stopped responding to my messages altogether. I didn't push the issue too hard because I wanted to give him space after everything that had happened. The other day, Colt reached out and said that our friendship ended because of something I said in January. Apparently, when someone asked me about winning the lawsuit, I joked that it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders and that I could finally afford to treat myself, but also that I didn't need anyone else, implying that I was financially set. He claimed this made him uncomfortable and that's why he distanced himself from us all. Sounds pretty shallow to me, but at the same time, it does seem like something might have been off about how he reacted. Am I the asshole?